Good evening, you're about to listen to the Odd Pod. We don't know why, however we are grateful you chose to. We do wish to inform you that the views, opinions and overall morality do not necessarily reflect those of the station, sponsors or musical entities. If you should choose to continue, and we sincerely hope that you do, just know, we try to advise you against these actions and we are not responsible for any damage done to your sanity, morals or ideals. Thank you. Here comes that terrible siren.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
And now, broadcasting from the heart of Metro Detroit, you're listening to The Odd Pod.
Double the D's for double the fun.
We'll do it live!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we do it live. Welcome, it's Friday night, and you're listening to The Odd Pod, and we are broadcasting on tapdetroit.com. I am excited for this because, okay, so tonight's show is all about the Captain Ron report, basically. All the times that Ace called in while he and his brother were out on the road. Well, now we get to hear stories from the road. With me tonight is Ace.
Howdy.
And Captain Ron.
Hello.
So, little quick updating stuff that we got to do for catching up on the week. The week has been an interesting week. I got to go to my first Red Wings game yesterday, thanks to my buddy Ted, and I absolutely enjoyed it. It was empty, for the most part. It was a preseason game. There were people there, but it wasn't like packed to the brim. And we were up in the nosebleeds, and thankfully, because there was nobody else around, I was able to move around. Those seats are uncomfortable if you're big or tall.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
And if you're both, oh, buddy.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah. You better hope there's nobody in front of you so you can at least throw your leg over the chair in front of you, because you're going to need it. Aside from being uncomfortable, though, being at the game was a great experience. I've been to the funny thing that I realized is I've been to sports that I don't like and never been to the one that I did.
As long as it's live. It's interesting to watch live things.
Well, so I've been to live football games. I played in football games. I've been to baseball. I hate baseball. Baseball is a little bit more enjoyable when you're at the park. I will give it that. But baseball as a game,
it's like golf.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't like it. Yeah. Hockey, on the other hand, I fell in love with hockey when I was a kid because here was a game that was fast-paced and they fought each other. And there was so much energy, like, for the home team, which was the Red Wings. And me growing up, I went through a lot of Stanley Cup championships.
Anytime the crowd gets into something, it's fun to fall in with the crowd.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience.
Ride the wave.
Exactly.
Buy the ticket, take the ride. But I know I had the bad experience when I went to see the last podcast on the left, but I really think it was just a combination of factors.
It's a little tighter.
It would, yeah, and hot. No ventilation, and so many people just crammed in there, and I did not feel comfortable. The chair was uncomfortable, but I did not feel comfortable. Right. I stayed. I didn't like it.
I stayed and enjoyed it,
yeah.
Whether I liked it or not.
I have nothing bad to say about the show itself. But yeah, kind of the same experience, the very physically uncomfortable, but really just a fun game to watch. And even up in the nosebleeds, you would think that they'd look like ants. No,
you can pretty much see it.
Yeah.
Might have a hard time following the puck.
No, I mean, the way it's set up, that's why it's so uncomfortable, because it's just a steep incline at one point.
Right.
But no, this you had a good view, and when I moved further down to get even more comfortable at the beginning of the third period, because I moved down into the handicap spots because nobody had been there the whole game, and my legs were hurting.
Right.
And I found myself having to force myself to watch the action on the ice. See, when I was up further, I could only see part of the Jumbotron.
Right.
So I was forced to look at what was going on. But they'd catch your attention with something like, look at our screen. And you're like looking at it and you watch what it is. And then you realize you're watching them play. And that's no different than being at home.
TV. Yeah.
So beware the Jumbotron. But other than that, Little Caesars Arena is a spectacle. It is, for those of you in the area, if any of you haven't been, but I can't imagine.
I haven't been.
Okay, so if you know Fairlane Mall, it's like they put an ice rink in the middle of Fairlane Mall. It's 3 levels of shopping and dining and memorabilia.
Experience.
Yeah, well, there's little corners too where they have memorabilia and stuff. There is a Little Caesars on all 3 levels.
Yeah.
I don't know why that surprises me.
Well, they got to have 30-minute delivery. They got to get into any room.
But what was cool is our good friend Mr. Brown was actually at the game too. I didn't see him. I knew the general area that he was in.
You just keep waving at that general area?
Yeah, every so often.
I know he's over there somewhere.
But no, Mr. Brown was there as well. And he had said that they got the win because they had double Chris in attendance. I'll buy it. I was happy to see it. They beat the Penguins 4-2. So
yeah, that's always good to get a victory when you go.
And there were a couple of blows thrown too last night. So a little physicality. That's the one thing that made me stop watching hockey is because they started getting on him for fighting too much.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? No.
Keep it interesting.
They've got pads.
Besides that, it's soccer on ice.
Yeah. So, anyways, I recommend if you get the chance, go. It was the first time I've ever been to a pro hockey game, and it was an experience, and it wasn't a bad one. Other than that, I don't know, man. Not much to report this week. Things keep going on and going on. There is, because I'm a jackass, there is a new piece of merch up at the merch shop, and it is...
I got jailed again.
Yeah, I got... For those of you that didn't know, during the Jerome Lil lead-up, I could not promote or do anything. Which, by the way, if you haven't heard that episode, by all means, head to our Patreon at patreon.com/The Odd Pod.
Good interview.
It is completely free for everyone in its entirety. I last year for October, we did 4 episodes for free. We called it Freetober. And this year for Freetober, we're doing 2 of them. It's the Jerome Lil episode is one of them. The second one will be a Halloween episode. Yeah, where we just play we'll talk about a bunch of creepy stuff and play a bunch of spooky music. See, cell phones are bad, people. You don't need them. Unless you're listening to us on a cell phone, and then by all means, please keep it. So anyways, I got put in jail for 7 days for being a bully. And what Facebook deemed me being a bully for is I cited rubber versus glue. And they didn't like that. Somebody called me a name, a very nasty name, and I will not say it. But I told them that they want to be careful throwing that label around so freely. Otherwise, their little club wouldn't be so exclusive. So, rubber versus glue.
Exactly.
And apparently, when you cite RV glue, or you get in trouble. They don't like it.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
They get upset at all.
I was even polite about it.
Yeah. Just preaching to the choir.
I know. So there's a design up at the merch shop that is fresh out of Zucatraz. And it's just a stupid design that I came up with and ran through my head. So if you so choose to buy it for yourself or for a loved one as a novelty, I recommend if you know someone who's in a 30 or a 7-day ban, plan to have this shirt for them.
On their last day.
Yeah. Be there waiting, with
Zuckerberg
the
shirt.
family in the car.
Welcome out of Zuckertraz.
Right. So, as I said, we have live and in person the Captain Ron Report.
It's the Captain Ron Report, live coming at you from the basement.
So, when you mentioned this trip, everybody thought you were both crazy, I'm sure.
I started thinking about 2 years ago, and I couldn't get one of my cousins to go with me that had a motorcycle too, because I wanted to drag my motorcycle. And then he couldn't go, so it was like, but the wife didn't want me to go by myself. She said, I think you should have somebody go with you. I said, hey, nobody can go. And then Paul said, Ace said, I go if you want. And I said, grab your bag and let's go. So we took off.
I'm a spontaneous kind of guy.
Just looking for escape once in a while.
He was ready in 3 days, and it took me about 7 to 10 days.
I remember seeing.
Well, he said go. I was ready.
I believe they call that a bug-out bag.
Yeah. Grabbed it and gone.
I had been out west twice before, once on a plane to Seattle, and once I drove across when I was 17. Ran away from my home when I was 17 with a girl that was about 6 years older than I was. And she had a car, and we both had some money, so we went out west. Picked up another cousin, went down and stayed in Port Orford for the summer. And I wanted to go back there someday, and so I did. And I wanted to go see the sequoias and the redwoods and then I hadn't seen deserts, so we went down to South California and across some deserts and across Death Valley and over the mountains and through the woods.
Let's talk about over the mountains.
Oh, man.
That was a shortcut.
Uh-huh.
The best one was a Captain Ron shortcut that Paul thought we shouldn't do.
Oh, I was against a lot of things.
Big sign at the base that said, trucks with trailers not recommended.
Not recommended.
Yeah, that was his argument. It said not recommended. It didn't say don't do it.
Yeah.
I said, if it said don't do it, would you still wet? He said, yeah.
No, but it didn't say no trailers. It said not recommended.
Yeah.
Well,
I see no difference.
No. I'm going to side with Captain Ron on this one. What he may or may not have done with this theoretical sign is moot. It said not recommended.
Right.
I'm
open to go.
We were sitting in Beaver, Utah, and he had been looking at the map.
See that.
And by the time
Yeah,
we come
you like
down
my
the
shirt,
other
don't you?
side, I was kind of thinking,
It's my only souvenir.
the sign.
Ace is wearing a shirt that says I Heart Beaver.
Yeah, it's from Beaver, Utah, KOA. I was like, hey, a shirt that I can actually get behind. Yeah. But when we was at Beaver, Utah there, he wanted to go for a bike ride. He had been looking at the map, and he said, I'm going to go check something out. I'll be back in a little while. And I was like, yeah, fine. So he took off on the bike. About 3 hours later, he come back in. He said, yeah, I checked out my shortcut. I'm pretty sure we can get the truck and trailer through there. When he said pretty sure, I knew we was in trouble then. And I said, what do you mean, pretty sure? Oh, yeah, a little bit more positivity there? What do you mean, pretty sure? Well, it gets kind of rough. I said, did you go all the way then? Well, no, I went to where it started getting bad. I didn't want to ride my bike on it. I was like, oh, you won't take your bike, but you're going to take the truck and trailer up
Driving
it.
my bike on gravel.
There's logic behind it. With the truck and the trailer, you got 4 wheels. With the bike, you only got 2, and them rocks is unstable.
I got so many claw marks on the dash of his truck, it ain't even funny.
Yeah, it was pretty strange. It was as strange as Death Valley, I'm telling you. I was scared there, too.
Well, yeah, we kind of jumped ahead in the story, though, because we left Michigan. We took off out of Michigan, and then we went into the Upper Peninsula, across the bridge.
Yeah.
And we drove. we got lost a lot. Well, it was okay because we wasn't lost because we didn't have a real destination, just the West Coast generally.
Very true.
It's hard to get lost. But we made it into the Upper Peninsula, and we knew that area pretty well, so we just kept traveling. Well, when we got into Wisconsin, we started cutting down along the Lake Michigan there, and when we got to Green Bay. We made a right in Green Bay, and then it went awry there somewhere. I think what happened, and we still not sure.
Go to the headwater. I was going to go to the headwaters, and then decided not to. But after we got off that road, it was like there's a gap of about 100 miles.
It took us about
and
4 hours.
We went there and wandered around and came back out.
Well, I think what happened after hindsight and looking at it, because at the time,
Map said you ain't supposed to go there.
We was totally confused and totally lost in Wisconsin, west of Green Bay somewhere.
We got off the main
but
road.
I think what happened in hindsight, we was fresh to one another. We wasn't used. He was driving. I was navigating. He was going by the compass on the truck. I was going by my GPS. He had looked at maps before and wanted to stay off the main freeways. My GPS is trying to take us to the main freeways. He's trying to stay off. And somewhere between his navigation and my navigation, we did circles for a while in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we went under for a while.
And then we hit that. Where was we when we hit that storm? That was just
all
out of Wisconsin, Minnesota. That was forever long.
It was from Wisconsin to South Carolina.
So South Carolina, South Dakota.
The beginning of South Dakota.
We got
it looked
driving.
like a snake on the screen.
Yeah, we kept looking at the map. It had got that bad, and it started running into hail and shit. But yeah, for like
17 hours of storm.
Yeah, we drove right through the longest part of it. It was like it was a train coming, and we was headed right into it and kept driving into it. But yeah, the lightning show was just unbelievable. It was like a strobe light at times. But.
So when I drove from Kentucky to Arizona, we ran into a storm, like just pouring down rain. Could not see the front of the bumper or the front of the hood of my car.
Right, that's how this was.
We had to pull off in Little Rock, and we spent the night there. But yeah, driving in them storms ain't fun.
Yeah, it was raining so hard that with the headlights, it was like, there's a yellow line. And you could only do about 35 mile an hour. There's a yellow line.
Yeah, I hope nobody
There's a yellow line. Oh, the yellow line's now in the center of the hood. Scoot over, please. But yeah, we went through most of Minnesota through that storm. That was a wicked storm for sure. It was blowing us all over the place.
Well, the plan was to, when we left my house upstate, to drive as long as we could westward. Go through the UP and Wisconsin and Minnesota, and we did. And we got over to South Dakota when we said, okay, let's start slowing down, because it started getting interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't just farmland. Started getting some mountains and some valleys and some shit sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, that was the thing, though. I had never seen really any kind of a mountainous area at all. I've just seen flatlands. And, the Kentucky hills at night one time, a long time ago. But when you're driving across Minnesota and it starts getting into the South Dakota type of scenery, you
start getting into
start
seeing,
cracks in the ground, and it's lifting a little bit, and you can see how the mountains are starting to rise. And that was pretty neat because, for me, not never seeing a mountain, seeing the beginnings, the foothills, and then they get bigger. And then as we got up towards the Black Hills of South Dakota, where Mount Rushmore is, that was our first place that we stopped. Yeah, we went pulling in there, and like we said, we had no real plans, no real direction. We knew we wanted to see Mount Rushmore, so that's kind of where we headed. Well, we got there, and we ain't got no reservations or nothing like that. We pulled in, and we pulled up a map, camping around Mount Rushmore. Well, it just happened that Horse Thief Lake popped up. It was the closest one to Mount Rushmore. And
His own little lake.
as the Captain Ron Way ended up going through the whole trip, I said, man, it says reservations only. There's no sense of even turn. I would have never even pulled into the place because it had a big sign out front. No empty spots. Reservations only. He pulled in, and the lady said, "Can I help you?" And he says, "I need a spot for 2 nights."
She said, "How long is your trailer?"
She said, "How long is your trailer?" And he looked back at the trailer and said, "About that long." So she guesstimated it, and she looked,
She said,
and she
"We
said,
got one spot."
"Got one spot that trailer will fit in that I can let you have for 2 nights."
Can't have
And
it,
I was like-
can't have it for 3 though. You
No,
can
can have it
two.
for 2, not 3.
That's right, all we
So,
wanted,
okay.
too.
So we was the last spot at that camp. We pulled in. They had everything we needed there. We bought wood. We bought ice. So they had everything.
Yeah, we bought wood there.
And we set up camp there the first night. And they had Horse Thief Lake had that little lake right there that you could see the backside of Mount Rushmore where the heads are carved. So yeah, we was literally
It was on
about
the right cheek of
2.5
George
miles
Washington.
from the statues.
Yeah, the picture that you had posted, I had seen.
Yeah, now that where you can just see the side view of George Washington,
Yeah.
that was literally you pulled out of our camp and drove a mile and a half up the road, and there's a turnout right there. Well, that's the first place I almost died.
Yeah.
I almost died several times on this trip. That was the first one.
That's what makes it a good road trip.
Balance on them. He's going to go up on this rock that's like this big, but it's a big rock. He's going to stand on it, la, 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 and lost his freaking balance and started falling down this rock.
Oh, I almost died. It was terrifying. I looked like
If he
a
would have
cat
fell
on
the
a
other
hot
way,
tin roof.
yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
took 3 people to get him out.
In a tow truck. Yeah. But that turnout was like a mile and a half from our gate from the park. So you just literally made a right, went around the little lake that we swam
Yeah,
in,
it
and
was-
that was that turnout, and you could see the monument there. But yeah, when we first got there, they had that turnout, and we ended up turning in there before we ever got to Horse Thief Lake, and it was first time out
Horse
of the
Thief.
truck, and oh man, look at this! I was all excited, and I grabbed my phone and I went running to the overlook, and I took a couple pictures of the overlook, and I said, oh, "Look at this big rock! You can climb on this big rock!" And I started climbing up this big rock, and I said, "Man, you can really see from the top of this." So I standing on top of this rock. Well, I'm looking down, probably a 200-foot drop. It was pretty much straight down. And
Not a smart rock to climb on.
no, not really, but I even went dumber than that.
That doesn't surprise me.
I looked over the edge, and about 18 inches down, you could step down, and there was a good size, as big as your desk, where it was flat and even, and it looked like a real good place to stand and take some pictures looking down into the canyon. Well, I went to step off, and I stepped onto that ledge, and the heel of my foot hooked underneath of a rock because I kept it close to the face. Well, when I went to move my other foot down, I felt my foot was caught, and panic set in because I was right on the edge. So now I'm trying to get that foot loose. I'm already got forward momentum going. And instead of, trying to be graceful, I'm just trying to think of the quickest way to save my own life. And the answer was fall down. Fall down flat like a cat.
Fall the other way.
I sprawled out on that
better
rock
to fall
like a
the
big
other way
squirrel.
than that way.
I had a hold of that rock in every direction. Lay on top of this big rock. Oh, I was sweating bullets, man. I thought I was going over. And of course, my head, when I stopped moving, I was looking over the edge. I was like, oh, he's been here less than a minute, and I almost died. I got to be more careful.
Can't take you nowhere.
No, not at all. Let me out of the truck, and I almost died.
The first thing you did was run up to the highest rock there is. And looked over there.
I'm free!
Fell down and started thinking like G.I. Joe or something. Crawling on the ground. Like, get away from it. Get away.
After I unsquirreled from the rock, I got off the rock. I turned around, he looked at me, cocked his head, just shook his head, walked away.
I'm pretty sure you're going to disagree with me, but I feel those are the pictures we need.
Those are the pictures got deleted. Just big blurry cliffs.
You can see fear all over his face.
Yeah, down
I've seen
there.
it several times in the last month.
Coming up and down them
Oh,
mountains.
yeah, and in the desert.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought we was going to die there.
We could
too.
die here, you know. That's what he says. We could die here, you know. I said, you could
Ever the
die
optimist.
here, you know.
Ever the optimist.
Oh, man, there's
I ain't dying
110. We're starting to run out of water. We got a half a tank of gas, and we're in Death Valley Lost. That was not a good situation.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But luckily, apparently, the Captain Ron Way was with you all the way through.
Yes, it was.
Too. Well, after
Even
we
on
left,
our, yeah, all the way through.
we hung out there at Mount Rushmore 2-3 days, and we went and drove past the monuments and seen all the sights and tunnels that there was, and went on all
the corkscrew road that goes
what
down.
the hell was that? What was that town? The mining town that wasn't nothing but a giant strip mall. It's like a strip mall of a flea market.
I can't remember.
Hilltown, Valley Town, Hilltown, Valley Town, Hilltop Town.
Okay.
Hilltop Town at the bottom of the mountain. It is like a flea market of T-shirts, doodad, knickknacks, eateries, bars, all sorts of crap. And I was like, what a nightmare this is to get me out of here. We couldn't get out of there fast enough.
You go up this winding road that just went like a corkscrew, and then it went zigzag, and then it went zigzag some more, and up and up and up. And it was a terrible road. And get to the top, and there's this monument to this statue of this guy that built
Designed
the
the
road.
road.
So,
The whole way up, he was
okay.
going, who designed this crazy ass road? Monument to him.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a road that splits in half?
I'm gonna take a
It's a
monument.
switchback road.
Get some Democrats up there. They'll
Well,
pull
yeah,
a monument
it
down.
splits, and it's just one lane off through the woods for like 4 or 5 miles, and it's like driving on a bicycle trail. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's nuts. It's
then-
like something. Oh, it would be a skateboarder's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the top and
might do a
skateboard down
90.
that. Or one of them body
Wear
things
pads.
that you lay
A lot
on.
of pads.
And a helmet.
Well, I've never seen. It was like a roller coaster. They had to have bridge work that you would go like Cobo parking. You was going under the same road that you just went on. It was like 2 levels
Yeah.
of corkscrew. But I'd never seen a road like that.
So I want to take a minute because we're heading into our first break. Next week, we will be sitting down with Starzek and Pat of Last Call in Jonestown.
I know those guys.
Yeah. So you want to catch that. We're going to play their entire album. We're going to play a few other songs as well, but we're going to play their entire album and talk to them about upcoming shows and, interests and stuff like that. It should be a fun show. Also, you're going to hear the Patreon shout-out thing, so I'm going to plug the Patreon one more time because that episode with Jerome Lill, I'm very proud of it. I want you to go listen to it. You can get to it at patreon.com/The Odd Pod. If you should so choose to join the Patreon while you're there, at the $5 level, you get access to all of the shows in their entirety. Past and going forward as long as you're a member. You get a shout out and the show which you're about to hear, which is why I went on this whole diatribe and spiel. You'll also get a 10% off coupon to use at MotorCityCandleworks.com for your purchases. So
By all means, go check out that interview.
yeah, for that aside, selling myself aside, I'm a prostitute.
Everybody's pimping.
Pimping ain't easy, so help me out.
Hard here.
Yeah. But that interview was just a really fun interview to do, and I encourage everyone that if you listen to it, definitely pick up Jerome's book, because it is however wild you may think it is after listening to that interview, magnify it by 10. There is stuff we didn't talk about that happened in the book. There is a elaborations to the stuff we did talk about.
The difference between a movie and a book.
Yeah, like it's definitely worth the read. Jerome is also a recovered alcoholic, as he says, and he is willing to talk to anyone. His whole reason for writing the book was not necessarily to get famous or make money. He wants to be able to help people, and he has been. And if you go to the website, which is linked in the episode description, you can contact him. If you're having troubles with alcohol or drugs and you want to talk to him, you can reach him. He's pretty friendly and he'll talk to anybody. He talked to me, so that should tell you he'll talk to anybody. But just definitely go check out the interview because, like I said, I'm proud of it, and I think it went really well, and it was a really interesting story. Other than that, make sure you check out Motor City Candle Works. I'm an asshole. They have an event coming up, and I was supposed to have the thing pulled up here. I think I've got a week, but it'll be posted with the show, I promise, in the description for this episode. But go to MotorCityCandleWorks.com or find them on Facebook, and you can order your stuff, your stinky stuff, your smell goods.
Good stinky stuff.
Yeah, the good stinky stuff from Motor City Candle Works. I believe I just saw that they are doing $5 shipping. So you can order as much as you want, and it'll be $5 shipping. But you should go to MotorCityCandleWorks.com and follow through to their Facebook page because all the information is there.
Stinky stuff.
Yeah. All right, you're going to get a new one from a local band, I Am Trouble. It's called Push Pull. You're also going to get a song from Crip Trip called To Be Whole, and you're also going to get one from Acid's Trip, Faster Chopper Boogie. You're listening to The Odd Pod on TapDetroit.com, and we will be right back.
Now it's time for the Odd Pod's Patreon shout-out. Big thanks to Tiki, Billy Yum, Mr. Robbins, Justin Burnside and Zaldor of Zaldor's World Podcast for becoming a patron. We hope you enjoy our long, uncut and girthy episodes until you're fully satisfied and left shaking from laughter. For everyone else, you can join our Patreon too. Just head to patreon.com/theoddpod. Become a patron and reap the benefits today.
I'm finally getting my friends have turned to critics. I'm sick of bending over backwards for these midgets. This is something I gotta learn to accept and deal with and try to keep it moving, assuming I'll lose my feeling. And yes, when you become a king, your neck is under heels, and it's sucks to know that it's your own people that keep on stepping, applying the pressure until you're always second guessing if the mic is even worth it. My patience is slowly stretching. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, 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 push. I can't take anymore. You keep pushing and pushing until I finally break, and now I'm stuck with my demon cause you don't know what's at stake. I need a change. I don't know where to go. I'm losing everything I got and now it's taking control. Just let me breathe. I watch you stare at me. I watch you envy me. I watch you feel me as I bury myself in the ground. I watched you live it up. I watched you leave me down. I cannot help it if I'm not gonna take off my there always comes a time in life you gotta wash away the pain of lifting people up and hoping that they'll stay. And when they don't, it's time for you to walk away. So leave the drama in the past and let them take it to their grave. See, I don't need to wait no more, don't give a fuck what you say. I took the world and broke it down into some clay so I can move the perfect sculpture and shove it right in your face. This dedication that I have is handcrafted by fate, so you'll never bring me down again. Adios to the fake. Push, push, push. I'm kinda glad that you're never coming back you envy me. Just when I thought you were good as gone, just when you said you were gonna walk away, you're gonna come back here and try me again? I don't think so.
Are you tired of incense that stinks? Motor City Candleworks is Metro Detroit's #1 source for premium handmade incense, as well as hand sanitizer and now massage oil, with a wide array of scents inspired by Michigan cities and attractions. You're sure to find a fragrance that'll keep your love of the mitten burning all year round. Head to MotorCityCandleworks.com and order yours today. And make sure you find them on Facebook, too, for all of their upcoming sales and events. Motor City Candleworks. Michigan handmade scents that just make sense.
That smell. The kind of smelly smell.
This is your friendly neighborhood radio DJ, Oddman. Just wanted to let you know that the Odd Pod has an official merch shop set up for all the oddities eager to get covered in a bit of odd. Or maybe you want to seduce your partner by slipping into something a little more odd.
Ooh la la.
Maybe you just want to wallpaper a room in your house with stickers, because we got them too.
I'm gonna need more stickers.
You can find a link on our page via Facebook or on our page over at tapdetroit.com/The Odd Pod. So show your support and love for The Odd Pod today by picking up something from our store. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are continuing the tales of Captain Ron. And when we last left off, you were at Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah, while we was at Mount Rushmore, we stayed there for a few days. We finally packed up out of there, and we went...
Yellowstone.
But before we got to the Yellowstone, we stopped at Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
We stopped in and saw Crazy Horse. It was $35 to get in the parking lot to go see Crazy Horse. They had it was a pretty big thing. They had a big welcoming center and a place where you could walk, look to be 1.5 miles to the base of the mountain where it was actually carved, but I saw no point in that. You know, I look up at it, okay.
I see it
better from here, but yeah. It's huge. Compared to Mount Rushmore, the faces of Mount Rushmore would fit on Crazy Horse's forearm. This thing's huge. It takes up a whole mountain.
Imagine when it's finally finished.
Yeah. Well, they're working on it. They had equipment and everything. You could see it.
There was a lot of people working on it. Heavy equipment, trucks, bulldozers.
I believe it's taken longer, though, to do that than it did for Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, because Mount Rushmore was, believe it was federally government funded. So, yeah, they Crazy Horse is a matter of having the money to get it done. So, yeah, I know they're big on donations, and I think that's what they're running on.
Casinos are going to pay for that.
Yeah, just like they paid for the roads. But then after we saw Crazy Horse, we left Crazy Horse, and we headed for...
Yellowstone.
Yeah, but didn't we stop at Devil's Peak first, Devil's Tower?
Oh, yeah, we went off course to see
Did you see any aliens?
No, but it was kind of cool. The pictures don't show it. I mean, it shows it, but it doesn't show.
It's out in the middle of nowhere.
It doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, because we got there probably 45 minutes before sunset. The sun was just setting, and we were in the shadow of the peak, and it was a unique experience. The stars were just starting to come out. We lingered there long enough to see the sun just start going down. It was really cool. I liked that. That was a pretty good little stop there. And then we ended up driving into Wyoming. Where's Yellowstone?
Right there, Wyoming and South Dakota border.
Yeah, and we got there, and once again we had no reservation. We just pulled up to the gate thinking where he was going to get in, and we got to the gate, and before we got to the gate, there was signs everywhere saying, "Don't come here without a reservation. Don't even think of driving up this road without a reservation. Don't even bring your stinking ass without a reservation up this road." And then we saw a sign that said, "If you would like a reservation, you go back to the town that you just drove through a half hour ago and find this ranger station and talk to the ranger, and maybe you can get a day pass." And we was like, what? No, that was Yosemite.
No, that was to get through Yosemite.
Yeah, Yellowstone, we pulled right up to the gate.
They wanted 30.
I jumped the story. That was the wrong part.
They wanted some money to drive through
that
Yosemite.
Was Yosemite, that's right. Yellowstone, they said no reservations. We didn't have... Oh, that's right, because that's where we ended up with the bear place. We got to the gate, and we asked for reservations, and they sent us to this one town. Yosemite is... Yellowstone is big. It's 100 miles by 100 miles. Once you go through the main gate, you drive 50 miles to get to one of 5 villages, and these villages are built around the campgrounds. So once you're in the park, you're trapped. We got there, and we drove the 50 miles into the park hoping that there might be a possibility of getting a campsite. So we went in there, and we tried to get a spot, and they said, well, no, we ain't got anything. We checked the other places, and they hee-hawed around, and then they finally came back with campsite 127. And they was like, 127? You're not renting them 127, are you? 127? Well, 127 is notorious for grizzly bear activity because it butts right up against the sanctuary, the nature sanctuary.
It's at the end of the park in the woods.
I mean, at the very end, in the very
and I'm afraid of the woods, but I wasn't used to having to worry about black bear.
No, there was big steel containers there that you're supposed to put all your food in. It even had signs if you read them.
Put your bologna in their box.
Take your shit out of your trailer and put it in these steel boxes, or the bears will come into your trailer. And I was like, yeah, I'm not so sure they'll do that, but okay. But, yeah, we didn't bother doing that. But, yeah, we stayed there for a couple nights, and Captain Ron went on an extended bike ride the next day. You want to fill him in on that one? You can do it or I can.
I drove
You can do it or I can.
I drove 110 miles all the way around the inside of the park to every one of them little villages to come back to where the village was that I started from, and then I passed it. I went all the way around the park, got back to where I was supposed to turn right to go into the park, and passed it. So I did a quick U-turn, and that fucking motorcycle is bigger than my other one. I didn't make that turn. I didn't make that U-turn, and went right off the fucking edge, down into the culvert, and then I slid sideways on the bank and managed to keep it straight up. Now the road is about the top of your computer up there, and I'm down here looking at it, and I'm parallel with it. And I'm thinking, fuck, man, when I had a dirt bike, this was no problem, so let's do it that way. I drove right up that bitch and hopped out on the road. I went back to camp, shaking my ass off. I had to go to the bathroom when I got back.
Yeah, he left to go on his bike ride. He said, yeah, I'm going to run up here to this village and turn around and come back. He said, I'll be gone about an hour. I said, all right. I looked at the map, and I said, yeah, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Like 4 hours later, I'm going, oh, man, he's crashed. He hit a buffalo or some shit. You know?
Sitting in a ditch.
Yeah. He come pulling back in, and I was like, how was your ride? He just started shaking his head. He was like, there was this buffalo, and then there was a ditch, and this thing over there. I was like...
I got a picture of an elk on that ride. Nice picture of the elk. Why didn't you mention that freaking elk?
That's a nice picture.
You got to bring up the fucking motorcycle wreck.
Happy hour.
I didn't wreck nothing. I didn't even put a scratch on it. That baby's prime.
Yeah, the trailer's destroyed. The bike's fine.
Well, isn't that the point of the trailer?
Yeah, but, you know, it was slowly wearing on it. 2 Martins in that trailer was giving it a workout. But yeah, he came back from his ride, and I was like, how far did you ride? Because I figured maybe he stopped and was looking at things or something along his ride. And that's what took so long. He was like, I put 110 miles on the bike. I was like, where did you go? To every village in this park.
I couldn't find my way back.
Were they all the same looking?
Yeah, pretty much. They're just named differently. That's the thing about Yellowstone. Once you're inside that park, like I said, from the gate to the nearest village is 50 miles. So if you want to go to a store that's not controlled by the park, you have to drive the 50 miles back to one of the gates to the nearest gate, and then you've got, I think, 25 miles to the next town.
Oh, yeah. They got you trapped.
So you're 75 miles from a store. Well, my dumbass, I was left with a limited amount of cigarettes. So about this time in the trip, I was running out of what I had brought, and I was hoping for a state with cheaper cigarettes is what I was hoping for. Well, I went into Yellowstone not realizing how it was set up, and I thought, surely there's stores. Well, Yellowstone is a federally run park. So we get there, and at the campsites, there's like no outside smoking. If you have to smoke in your trailer. And I was like, oh, I need cigarettes. And there's going to have to go to the Yellowstone store and try to buy cigarettes. This is not going to fare well for me. I had 1 pack of cigarettes left and 75 miles to the nearest store if they didn't have any. We went up there the next morning. He was like, "You want breakfast?" I was like, "No, I'm not big on breakfast. I'll take a coffee." And he said, "All right." So he came out and he had 2 coffees and a kind of egg McMuffin thing, and he's kind of got this sour look on his face. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Nothing." He said, "Kind of expensive." I said, "For 2 coffees and an egg McMuffin?" He said, "Yeah, $3.50 for the coffees, $3.50 each, and $9.50 for a sausage muffin with egg."
Oh.
And I was like, damn. I was like, oh, man, I don't even want to go try to find cigarettes. So I walked into the store, and I was like, "Excuse me, you guys got any cigarettes?" And the lady was like, "Cigarettes?" Like she'd never heard the word before. And I was like, this is a lost cause. And she said, "Over at that one register over there by that door, I think they've got some cigarettes in a drawer over there." And I was like, "A cigarette with drawers, maybe. Uh-oh." So I walked over there, and the lady was standing there, a younger girl. And I said, "The lady over there said you might have cigarettes for sale here."
He talks to everybody.
And she said, "Yeah." She said, I got these." And she opened up this drawer, and there was like 8 cartons of cigarettes in there, and they had packs missing. Well, now I'm thinking $20 a pack. What are you going to get me for here? I said, "How much are they?" And she looked at me, and she had that sheepish look like she was getting ready to say some ridiculous price. And she said, "They're $7.90 a pack." And I was like, I thought in my mind, "Well, that's cheaper than I can get them at home."
Yeah.
And I said, there was a carton of Marlboros that had 2 missing on it. I said, I'll take the rest of those Marlboros. And she went, "Huh?" And I said, "I'll take the rest of those Marlboros right there. I want all 8 packs of those right there." And she went, "All these?" And I said, "Yeah." She kind of looked at me. She rang him up. I paid her. She was like,
"You tell her he was a chain smoker?"
Crazy dude. Well, yeah, I was tickled to death to get him. I thought I was going to have to drive 75 miles back into a town to get a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, that trapped feeling that gets you. So at the Little Caesars Arena last night, Ted wanted to get pizza. I'm already there without having to pay for the ticket. The man was nice enough to bring me. I wasn't trying to do anything beyond just be at the show.
Right.
And he was like, "You want pizza?" I was like, "I don't have money for this. Like, I'm here for the show. I appreciate it." And he's like, "I didn't ask you if you had money. Do you want pizza?" Okay. Sure. Yep. I voiced my concern. We're moving forward. Fine. It was $19 for the pizza.
For one of the $5 ones, yeah.
Yeah, he got like 5 meat, but yeah.
Still, yeah.
And $19 for a Little Caesars.
$5 food.
Yeah, hot ready size pizza.
Ridiculous. Everything like that. But man, when they got you camping like that.
Yeah, you've got no choice.
Can you imagine if you're a family of 4, you, your wife, and 2 kids? You go up there for breakfast, just 2 milks, 2 coffees, and 4 sandwiches, you're into $60 worth of shit.
That's why it pays to prepare for camping trips.
Yeah, well, that's not the Captain Ron way.
I understand that.
But anyway, we got done with Yellowstone, and we pulled up out of there, went down through the Grand Tetons and saw that mountain range. That was impressive. And we was through there at about the same time all that murder shit was going on.
I know you were.
Yeah, what was the lady's name?
Gabby Petito.
Gabby Petito. That was all going on when we was cruising through there.
Yeah, I never seen a thing.
No, we didn't.
That's the Detroit spirit, man. I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing. I wasn't even there.
I was there, but I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing suspicious.
Then we went through the Grand Tetons, and then
ball falling off a rock.
After the Grand Tetons, then we cruised over to Oregon after that, didn't we? Yeah, we made it to Port Orford. Well, Idaho. We went through Idaho. That was another one.
Idaho, went over the mountains and over the valleys.
That was another thing that kind of threw me. Idaho, I'm from Michigan. I don't understand these things. When I say Idaho, people say Idaho. I think Idaho potato. Any place that grows potatoes Must be flat. No.
No.
It's mountainous. It's mountainous, and they're growing potatoes in the valley. So, yeah, that was... I don't know why I thought Idaho was flat, but I did, and it's not. And I also thought it was crazy.
Doubtful, but I'll ask Kudus. He wants to know, did you meet Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No, I wasn't looking for Dog. Dog wasn't looking for me.
They were through there before Mr. the Bounty Hunter decided he needed his extra 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if he actually caught him. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got through Idaho and all that and got to Port Orford, Oregon at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Pulled in and where he wanted to be.
I went down to the beach and took some pictures of where I had a tent 55 years ago. Yeah. And took some pictures of Battle Rock. That's the farthest point west in the continental United States. Sticks out in the water. Of course, there's people that say different. You can look on Google and it'll tell you someplace else is the furthest. But if you go to Port Orford and you talk to those old men, that's paradise. Farthest point west.
Yeah. That next morning, we parked in a pull-off with a bunch of other cars that was pulled off there, and I woke up just before sunrise. It was still dark. I could hear the ocean, but I couldn't see it. And I took my phone and I walked over to the edge of the rail, and I stood there for about a half an hour watching the sun come up behind me, and it slowly exposed the ocean. And it was a nice foggy day, and the rocks were water was breaking on the rocks. It was a pretty cool experience for me. Then once the sun came up, we went back down to Battle Rock, where he went down, took pictures of where he lived for a while down there on that beach at Port Orford, him and our cousins. But yeah. And then when we left out of there,
we went south down to the Oregon coast.
That's when we started running into trouble. We ran into the first thing across Oregon. We ran across the California border. We ran into gypsy moth.
Took our fireworks.
We're going to pause right there, though, because it's I got to go to my next break.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was ready for a break.
What was it? Gypsy Moth Investigators?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we come back, Gypsy Moth Investigators, but until
Thanks
then...
for checking out the Odd Pod. If you want to hear the whole show, consider becoming a patron of our Patreon. Head to patreon.com/The Odd Pod. We're also all over social media like an STI that won't wash off. Head to tapdetroit.com/The Odd Pod to follow us today. We're already following you, and you forgot to buy milk.